Hi all. I wanted to take a chance today to address a few basic questions that I've received via email or on the website concerning some basics about Buddhism. So the first one is, what is Buddhism? In the world today, Buddhism is practiced by about 300 million people worldwide. The argument of whether it is a religion or a philosophy has been with it, I guess, since its inception. We could look at the definition of religion, and that is anything that you follow and apply your principles of life to can be determined a religion. So I guess if we call common sense, wisdom, and understanding something that we apply that way, then it could be considered a religion. Needless to say, though, it was started about 2,500 years ago by a man named Siddhartha Gautama, and he set out to see the reality of the world, to find the truth of the world, and not just his privileged lifestyle. It was estimated that he set out on his journey and came to his awakening around the age of 35. So, principles of Buddhism are based on his teachings and his experiences. And historically, he had some pretty good stuff. So that is basically your origins of Buddhism and what Buddhism is about. The next one that I'm often asked, and it kind of touches on the first one, is Buddhism a religion? Again, I personally view Buddhism as more of a philosophy or a thinking approach to living each day and each moment in life, more than I do a religion. I think you could apply it in either sense of the word, but for many, the philosophical approach tends to have the most benefit. The definition of philosophy is for the love of wisdom, or the pursuit of wisdom. And so you can see how philosophy asks a lot of questions. It pushes you to think a little deeper about your approaches to life. So Buddhism falls pretty sharply on that side of the fence, and if you practice Buddhism with some diligence every day and you attend to its teachings on your top of list priorities, then you could also fall under, it slightly has a religious connotation, and it suits the definition of religion. I think in either sense that the teachings of Buddhism, which are to be present, be aware, to be understanding, compassionate, and accepting of what life gives us, I think it just falls on either side of the coin, and I think those are far superior traits to pursue, whether we call them philosophical or religious. And finally, the other question I'm always asked about Buddhism is, does it say that other religions are wrong? We certainly have heard of parts of other religions which say there shall be no other gods before me, etc., etc. And Buddhism doesn't seem to take that approach. From everything I have seen and practiced in my life and in others, I see that, if anything, Buddhism is very accepting of other religions. It's kind of almost open arms to other religions, as long as you are diligent and practice and things kind of don't cause you to harm others. So on some level, I think Buddhism also goes beyond other religions because it is all-encompassing. It does ask us to have a bigger picture, an open heart, a bigger mind, to embrace others, their practices, their beliefs, and our mission is to never preach and change and force people to think something is wrong with what they're doing and try to win them over to our side of the fence, so to speak, metaphorically. But Buddhism is simply about trying to get others to awaken to the realities of their life. And in that sense of the word, I think if we consider Buddhism as a religion, then it is one of the most open-armed, open-hearted religions I personally have come across in my life. And that's why I think Buddhism can have such a large appeal to such a large variety of people across the globe. So I hope the answering these 3 questions has provided a little insight into my perspective on Buddhism, and hope you learn a little something and dig a little deeper and find ways to apply these small, simple concepts in your life. As always, peace and love, Jim.